G'day and welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute. Today I'm joined by Badgers. How you doing, mate?
Hello. Yeah, all good. Thank you very much.
You look as bad as I feel.
Well, how very nice of you to say. I think.
No. Sorry, I feel terrible. I think I get a bit. I think I get a bit delirious when I get tired. So that's probably the way I am. So yeah. Talked a little bit about this ship this morning with Paul. I've also managed to catch up with Space Tomato in chat and Algrid and Osiris, and so I've got everyone's a little bit of their opinion on it. And I think we'll straight off the bat though, I'll grab your opinion on the Argo Raft.
I got to say, massive fan of the Argo aesthetic, and with this ship, both inside and out, I really like the way it looks. Fan of the crew quarters. You know, when you put the hazard skin on this, I think it looks great. In terms of the game and where it fits as a cargo hauler, I'm not as sold.
Yeah, and I think that's the same thing for me. I after talking this morning with Paul and the others, while the hull B exists, I don't think I can recommend this ship
No.
as a pickup for me. So yeah. So a couple of things straight off the bat to compare it to the hull B. The hull B has 384 SCU versus this that has 96. And on top of that, that does actually kind of let this ship a little bit compete with the Constellation in cargo terms. But opposed to that, the Constellation's obviously got 4 people in opposed to 2. And also the vehicle and the Merlin as an option. And it's obviously more combat focused. The hull B is $90. This is $120. And then the other thing is the hull B only has 1 bed, but this has 2. But then that raises the question, why 2 people over 1?
Yeah. I think the only way for me that would make sense is if this thing is pulling cargo off the back of hull class vessels, then yes, because you need the pilot to position and the crewman to do that communication of back a bit, you know, forward a bit, and then pick the cargo up with those tractor beams. But other than that, if this is just picking cargo up off of stations or, you know, off the ground, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
So essentially what the ship boils down to over the hull B is a tractor beam that's on the crane part at the back and 2 people with 2 beds. And whoa, just you letting me drive. I think
don't let me drive.
Don't let you drive. Okay, fine. Yeah, but yeah, for me, it's I can't validate it against the hull B in almost any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's really slow. Much like the Mole. I'm actually starting to worry now that Argo is a cheaper manufacturer that I put next to like Crusader and Drake in that vein, where Misk would be the more expensive industrial manufacturer, and these guys are a little bit on the cheap side. Don't know if that's factual. I'd probably have to actually go over that with Paul, but I'm starting to have that concern. SA did find a really interesting way that you can actually get this ship for the same price, but with 2 Argo Moles. Not Argo Moles, sorry. Let's call it Argo Mode. Argo Cargos. So you can create an account for yourself and refer yourself, and then buy something on that account. So you could just like buy, you could actually buy one of the CCUs on there. But basically, you can use the Argo MPUV that you get for free, get a 300i Warbond CCU and a RAF Warbond CCU. And basically, you get it for the same price. Plus, you get the 2 moles, which is pretty cool. And you've also got the money sitting on your other account that you can transfer back over. But yeah, we will probably talk more clearly about that in our CC video and a few other things. So yeah, back to this ship real quick. I think the thing for me that's a bit weird is obviously that turret's very weird. But there is so much detail at the back of this ship. When there is 10 people in a room, like on Discord, when we're all looking at this ship, and everyone's saying it just doesn't make sense. And when we get up to space, I'll get out and fly around, and you can just see the level of detail. It's quite a lot. And if you've ever done any 3D modeling, they'll always teach you to put more, like say you're doing a character of a person, they always teach you to put more polygons where people look. So you'd have more polygons in a face than you would in, say, the feet. And it's the same thing with a spaceship. You'd have more in the front than you would in the back, and things like that, because people tend to look there than look in the back. So yeah, I'll show you that when we get outside. But probably the best living quarters we've ever seen in a ship so far. So there are some really massive positives with this ship. Visually, this ship does win. Yeah, but as I was saying to Algrid, I could probably use this as a wallpaper just there. So it's really pretty. Again, really good suiting. 1, 2, and then do you want to talk about the hazard suits real quick? Because the red lighting for the hazard suits.
Yeah, I think it's a great. Obviously, 01, 02 for the crew members, and then 01 hazard and 02 hazard. So it's reinforcing this thing's place as an industry ship. You've got your normal suits to go outside, your armor or whatever, and then you have your specific hazard suits for the threat of the environment, extreme hot or extreme cold, that you're going to go and work in. It's a really nice touch.
Gun rack as well for 4 guns. Much more spacious toilet bathroom than the Mole, which I think is really nice. Nice little ladder to go up here. And just you can see the whole ship pipeline evolving. Nice little lights, lights through the grills and stuff like that. So it's definitely really improving. You can see the crane here and make out some of those details I was talking about. Like, you just wouldn't have details in here if you weren't looking in here so much, but I'll show you more when we get out there. Also that tractor beam crane up the top there as well. We've got some components in here with this nice new roller door. I do want to show you these 2 components because this he went to warp and knocked me on my butt, but that's fine.
Sorry, no, we're just accelerating, but yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Once you get into space, just stop dead for me if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm going to show you is that this appears to be AI blades. Why would you have AI blades in a ship that's just a cargo ship unless it does something more? This massive big pump here with these fancy lights on it, and we seem to think that this is a set piece and does nothing. I find that a little weird. The other thing is it's got a scanner. Wouldn't a ship have a radar, not a scanner? Why does it need a scanner? It's also got batteries. Obviously, we've heard about batteries coming in the future. So, yeah. But at the moment, this room is just a glorified lift room. I still think this does something or was going to do something. And it says field present, so it makes it sound like there's an electric field or magnet that sucks things out of the liquid.
Yeah. CIG are just victims of their own success at this point, because when you've got areas that are set pieces, like in the elevators, a really good part of this. When you go down to the lower deck, on either side there are big orange doors with glass through it, and you can see piping, and it just gives you the impression that you're on a working, functioning spaceship. This space here is so clearly there is a purpose to it.
Yeah.
Those pumps, that's, like you say, more than just a set piece. And it makes you wonder, effectively one of 2 things has happened here. They've got functionality that they're not talking about yet, which would be a strange decision, given the fact that they're just selling this ship. Surely you would want to show it off in its best light. Or there's been a change of purpose here. And what we're seeing is artifacts from the previous function that it had.
And that, what you've said just there, pretty much covers exactly what everyone else has been saying. And that's all the boys, Space Tomato, Algrid, all that, every single one has hit on that point. There's just a lot of stuff that doesn't add up. I wanted to show something from the outside. Oh yeah, this door at the front, and they say in the Q&A that these bumpers do nothing. And it's just a little strange that they do nothing, and that there's a door on top and stuff like that. And then just behind that door is where the pumps are. So it could have been a refueler, a refinery ship. It could, you just kind of can't tell. But once I get outside and I actually show you the back of this, are we in a position high enough where we can take off now? Or
we are definitely out of atmo this time.
Yeah, this time. This take number 2, and the last time, let's just say I had a really long trip and a sudden stop.
This is a really nice way of saying that I dumped him out in Atmo in all of his really nice gear. So,
and I'm back. I'm just back in my beacon now because I lost all my nice stuff. That's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. All right.
Yeah, so we're almost there. We're 240 decreasing.
Yeah. So yeah, as that's another thing. It's just like it's Mole Brethren. It just does not slow quickly. Even got some what do you call it? Reclaimer vibes here with the materials and that on the walls. So maybe padded walls are in industry look. I'm not too sure. There is some still weird bugs and artifacting in it as well. All right, we're stationary.
We are stop, sir.
All right, cool, awesome. So nice little animation here on some of the stuff. As I said, like the ship pipeline is definitely evolving. But you guys, like, when you get a chance yourself, go down to the expo hall, rent this. Now look, just take note of the front. Pretty standard Argo affair. But if I go down here, you start telling me like when you think it's more detailed, and I would say automatically already it's more detailed. The amount of polygons here is significantly higher than it is at the front end, and it just doesn't make sense if this doesn't do something. Now, like we've suggested it folds out. Now, okay, that might be the case, and it does that or it doesn't. Sorry, I'm having some control issues here. But if it doesn't, then I would almost go back and say, please redo this so the polygons are not wasted and it's more optimized and runs better in game. Can you put the landing gear down for me, please, Badges? But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's, you know, you get in here and start looking at this detail, and realistically speaking, you're not going to be in here, and the only person that's going to see very often is that captain guy. And like these aren't, like some of this is normal map and some of it's actually polygons. And that's kind of what makes it a bit scary. There's just a lot of detail in here that, you know, doesn't need to be here. And when you've got things like this U-shaped rail, look, you can see that. That's 3 rails inside each other. That's got to be expand out. That's just, it's a waste of time otherwise. It just doesn't make any sense. So, you know, maybe I'm being, you know, a bit over the top, or whatever you want to call it, but I can't see it not doing something. Like it clearly looks to me like it's in 3 pieces, like the center comes out and then the next bit and then that bit all clicks in and it's all connected and integrated, and they extend out. And it was actually you, Badges, that actually spotted that and brought it out to the rest of the group. So
yeah, absolutely.
And now I see it in 3D. It's more obvious than ever to me. So yeah. All right. I'll kick it back over to the. Oh, I've lost control of my character again. Oh, there we go. We're back. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think I can recommend it to anyone, especially if it's a ship you actually want to use. If you want to buy it as an LTO, very well. But I'd almost say get 2 Spartans and go through that. Yeah. Because you're gonna get more war bonds as you go up and save more money and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, look, I like Argo. I just, if that's all it is, and they've pivoted from it, I get the same vibes I got from the Nomad. And I assume you feel the same, yeah.
Yeah, with this one, absolutely. It's going to be great for people who just like the design and I want it because it's Argo, or I want it because I love the look of it. Then yeah, absolutely go for it. It's not a bad choice in those regards. It is a little fuel hungry at the minute, hydrogen wise. But you know, for 2 people living on a ship like this, there's a lot of living space and a lot of interior for $100 and whatever it is, $20.
Yeah.
You know, there's a sizable ship here.
I was surprised that it was $120 because, as we said, we thought it was going to be like $170 to $220. But because it's just a cargo ship and they didn't show any of that what we were expecting, it's all that makes sense. But again, if it is just a cargo ship and you put it up against the whole B, no. But if they come around at a later date, none of us are surprised. If this, like literally in Space Tomato's word, it says it's lacking functionality that I thought it was going to have. So you know, and Space Tomato doesn't speculate as much as a lot of the rest of us do. So if he's thinking it and all the people in the room are on the same page, like, I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Is it the same thing? Like, you look at the back of it, it's like, why is this so detailed? Why did someone put in so much work if this doesn't move? It just doesn't make sense. If it was armored, wouldn't it just be like a Terrapin? Like, wouldn't it be have big sheets of armor with less polygons? And yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I'm at a mess. I really would love if it was a real Q&A and we could have actually asked real questions rather than just making them up and answering themselves. And I think that's why. So we can't actually ask these types of questions. But yeah. All right. With that, like this type of stuff, dislike it if you dislike it. Please feel subscribe, and it really helps us out. Lets us know we're doing well. If you really want to follow us on Patreon as well, we actually do these episodes with people, our Patreon backers, before the show. You can talk there, add to the show, and if you are a top end backer, like an Endeavor backer for $10 a month, you can actually listen to the recording live, or for $5 you can actually join in on the discussions. So yeah. All right, with that, he's been Badges, I've been Execute, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, and we will be doing a CCU chain guide very shortly. Catch you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.